All right, if you're just joining us, this is NS-33, New Shepard's 13th human flight, and we are under 7 minutes to launch. We are currently waiting to hear that go, no-go poll from the launch. I'm starting to hear whispers of it. Let's toss it over and listen in.
Go. Ground. Go. Safety.
Go.
Capcom. Go. Engineering. Go. Inco. Go. This is the flight director. New Shepard is go for launch. Booster, commence the terminal count. Local flight. Controllers drop. UHF voice.
That poll is always an exciting moment. We got go for terminal count. A great day here to fly.
Yeah, it certainly is. I know the Astros buckled in ready to go, but I also want to take a moment and talk about the flight profile of New Shepard.
So New Shepard is a suborbital flight, and it's a fantastic way to experience space. You can take a look on your screen. That is the flight profile. It's a simple parabolic flight that is straight up and straight back down. That flight path spans about 12 minutes from launch to landing.
The New Shepard rocket has a vertical takeoff and vertical landing architecture. So let's dive in just a little deeper on the flight profile.
7, 6.
New Shepard's mission
5,
begins when the
4,
countdown clock reaches 0.
2, 1, 0.
At this point, the engine will start and the rocket will lift off of the pad. It will continue under the boost phase for about 2.5 minutes until main engine cutoff. 20 seconds later, the crew capsule will separate from the booster and the astronauts will unharness and enjoy zero-G. The crew capsule will continue past the Kármán line to an ultimate apogee of 350,000 feet, or 100 kilometers. The booster will autonomously land on the landing pad, ready to be prepped for its next flight. Around 3.5 minutes after separation, the crew capsule will begin to re-enter Earth's atmosphere. Parachutes will deploy around an altitude of 7,000 feet, or 2,100 meters, providing a nice, slow descent back to Earth. After landing, astronauts exit the capsule and are greeted by the Blue Origin ground crew, family, and friends to celebrate and reflect on their flight. New Shepard, an adventure unlike anything on Earth.
Now, let's also talk about the vehicle that is carrying our astronauts today. The capsule carries the name RSS Kármán Line above the hatch.
An RSS means reusable spaceship. The capsule in today's flight has already flown to space twice. Today will be the 3rd time. We designed these capsules so they can be flown 25 times each, and that's really the vision for all of our hardware, reusability.
99% of New Shepard's dry mass is reused. We're talking everything from the crew capsule and the booster to the engines and the parachutes. This booster, by the way, has flown 4 times.
Reusability is so important to us here at Blue. Not only does it reduce the cost of space travel, it also significantly reduces waste. And we're continuing to develop New Shepard as a program. With the next generation vehicles, we'll be improving our cadence and our vehicle life. These vehicles are actually currently being built in Washington. Shout out to that team.
Absolutely. We love that team. And as you can see, we are about T-minus 3 minutes to lift off. So in this moment, we're going to toss it back over to the rocket as the launch pad becomes alive.
Command engine controller, ready to start. Auto sequence start. Pressing propellant tanks to flight pressures. Retracting the sunshade and capsule access bridge. T-minus 1 minute, 50 seconds.
Right now, the vehicle is going through a series of final vehicle checks, also known as bit checks, especially because we are under the 90-second mark here. Great shot from our drones of New Shepard on the launch pad.
Now we are at just about 1 minute until flight. You can see our vehicle on the pad awaiting liftoff. We're doing some final checks. We're always keeping an eye on pressures and temperatures in the propellant tanks. Both of those need to stay in the green zone. You can see on the bottom right all of the friends and family of our astronauts. They're just as excited and ready for today's flight.
All right, at about 50 seconds, T-minus 50 seconds to lift off, we are currently in a hold. But again, they are doing those final checks. We saw the friends and family out there ready for this moment that has been long awaited. Great shots of New Shepard out on the pad. Again, T-minus 50 seconds. That hold, by the way, I just got confirmation has been clear. The countdown is back on. And we're also keeping an eye right now on the pressure and temperature and the propellant tanks. Both, by the way, need to stay in the green zones of these variables.
Switched on onboard helium.
Looks like we have entered another hold.
Dust termination.
And it has been lifted.
A quick one.
The T clock has continued to count down.
Back in a short hold. It's like a little roller coaster right before liftoff. And we're going to hand it back over to Mission Control. Take a listen in and launch this rocket.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, command to start, 2, 1, 0. Mission.
And New Shepard has cleared the tower. Beautiful shot.
Starting roll program.
NS-33, we are on our way.
30 seconds.
Now you can note on the left-hand side of your screen, if you want to follow along, you can. You can note the speed, the altitude, and all of the major milestones coming up here in just a moment. At this point, BE3 is at 100% power level. We are gaining speed and altitude very quickly.
Now, despite the cloud cover, we are tracking New Shepard. Great shot from the rocket looking back down at West Texas.
Mach 1 vehicle is supersonic.
We've just passed 30,000 feet, and we are supersonic.
Engine back up to full throttle.
We just passed max
Chamber
Q.
pressure
You heard
looking
it there. Engine is back up to full throttle. We are on our way to space.
Yeah, the astronauts here are experiencing about 3 Gs.
Passing 50,000 feet.
We are just over a minute and a half into flight. Beautiful shot. So you're going to notice we're going to stay on this picture. This is, again, the camera that is on New Shepard, and that is because our cameras on the ground can't quite pierce all the way through the cloud cover that we're experiencing out in West Texas. But again, you can follow along with New Shepard's journey if you take a look at our telemetry, which is on the left-hand side of your screen.
MECO
We're
confirmed.
about to experience and see MECO. Oh, I just heard.
MECO confirmed. Main
Standby
engine
separation.
cutoff has been confirmed.
Separation confirmed.
Separation is confirmed. That is amazing. Now you can see on your left-hand side, we've got 2 bar charts now. We've got the left-hand side, which is tracking the booster, and the right-hand side is now tracking the capsule.
That's right. Our astronauts are experiencing about 0 Gs here. Not about, they are experiencing 0 Gs, a moment they have been waiting for quite a long time, exacerbated by about a week, but they are finally headed across that Kármán line.
They are. And as you'll note, the booster does have a rotation to it. We intentionally spin the booster and the capsule during flight so the astronauts can get a 360 view. They get to go around a couple times. It's slow and steady, but they get the full view of everything out their window.
That's so great. And these windows, by the way, bigger than a 737.
Much bigger.
Yeah, by like a lot.
And we have officially passed the Kármán line. We're still ascending the booster and the capsule.
And they reach apogee at about the exact same time.
That is correct. Yep. Yes, they do. We'll see that here in just a moment.
Capsule apogee.
And there it is, apogee for both the booster and the capsule. They are now both returning to Earth.
And what will happen is the booster is going to return first about 2 miles from where we launched on the launch pad, and it's going to return faster because it's so much more aerodynamic.
That's right. Yep. The capsule will re-enter a little
4
bit
minutes,
slower.
30 seconds into
But
flight.
that is perfect timing to watch both the booster and the capsule land.
Yeah, we're just over 4 minutes and 30 seconds into flight. Again, this is our camera from our booster looking back
Booster
down
descending
on
past
West Texas.
325,000 feet.
Yep, the booster has descended past 325,000 feet. Our best camera at this moment in time because of that cloud cover out west.
Capsule body rates looking good.
The astronauts still enjoying that 0 G. They're getting their views out the window, taking photos, posing, maybe doing some 0 G flips. Who knows?
I certainly would.
Astronauts
I also have to
returning
say
to
this
seats.
view to me is very calming. The astronauts getting buckled back in shortly. Yeah, but a great
Booster
shot
descent
there
nominal.
from our booster. I just got word in my ear that we don't have any audio of our astronauts at this moment in time, but we have heard they're having a great time up there, as I certainly would be.
Confirmed.
Yeah,
Booster
no.
forward fin deploy.
No kidding.
The booster descending past 150,000 feet.
The booster just opening some of its control surfaces to help it navigate back down. Those all work in tandem.
Yeah, the ring fin, the wedge fins, the aft fins at
Astronauts
the base.
experiencing maximum ascent Gs.
Those Gs the astronauts are feeling are pushing them into their seat as they hit that thick atmosphere coming back into Earth. They feel about 5 Gs for just a moment, and then it settles back to 1 G very quickly. So they should be cool and comfortable right about now.
Yeah. About to go back into the cloud line for our booster. I'm loving this shot from the booster. There we go. Now you can see the desert.
And the landing pad.
Yeah, that's a great shot of it. Here we go. Our launch Reach camera's able
And there's the sonic boom.
to capture the booster on its descent. Engine relight.
Engine restart. Landing leg deployed. Booster descent nominal.
And touchdown. We have a beautiful touchdown of the New Shepard booster. Welcome home, NS-33 booster.
Welcome home, New
It's
Shepard
great to
booster.
see you there on the landing pad.
That is right. And thank you for providing, by the way, such a great shot of the entire flight. It is great. And it almost looks like it's dead on center, too.
Yeah, hit the target. Now we will stand by to take a look at the capsule here in just a
Capsule
minute.
descending
But
past
as we wait,
15,000
the booster is going through its auto safing process, which happens immediately upon landing. Now that is to get the booster ready for our ground crew to come and pick her up in a little bit and take her back home.
Standby drill.
As we see, the capsule has come through the clouds in a moment. Oh my goodness, what a shot.
A great shot. Yeah, we should be
Capsule
seeing the
drogue
drogues here
deployment
shortly.
confirmed.
There they are. And the parachutes just after that. Now the capsule is descending, of course, slower than the booster because of its shape, that like teardrop shape. And there go the parachutes,
Capsule
essential
main
in
parachute
providing that
deployment
gentle
confirmed.
touchdown for the capsule. And it also has a retro thrust system at the base of the capsule, something you'll want to watch out for, which will make that final touchdown even smoother.
Beautiful, beautiful reefed parachutes here. What a gorgeous sight to see. Blue skies all of a sudden.
I know.
Incredible. The weather changes so drastically in Texas. Amazing, amazing shot here of the capsule as it descends smoothly back
Capsule
down
landing
to
zone
Earth.
within
You know, Alice, we have a
expected
saying in Texas, if you don't like the weather, just wait an hour. And in this moment, our astronauts are soaking up those
Capsule
final
descending
moments
past
with their crew before they're back
1,300 feet.
here on Earth. And right now, that capsule is slowing down to just a couple of miles per hour.
TDS enabled.
Yeah, those parachutes take all the energy out. We're at 17 miles an hour, and then we'll go down to 1, 2 with the retro thrust system. Look at that. Beautiful landing site for the capsule.
Oh, yeah. Looks like it's going to be close to one of the roads, which is nice. Easy to get out there. There's a great shot, actually, of our crew recovery system. Yeah, they're on their way. They're looking at the parachutes. That's cool. You can see that from inside the
Standby
What a
truck.
touchdown.
cool shot of the
Standby
booster and the capsule in one shot. That really just shows you how,
Approaching
you know,
vector
New Shepard
thrust
is
bucket.
so reusable and, you know, just an incredible vehicle. And touchdown.
Touchdown.
Capsule touchdown
Touchdown.
confirmed.
Congratulations.
Welcome home, New Shepard
Welcome back
33,
to Earth.
Solstice 33.
Get started with some
What
status
an
check.
incredible flight today.
Yes,
Auto
that
safety
is
start.
so
Welcome home,
great to
NS-33.
see. We should be getting a great drone shot there. There it is on the edge of the screen. We can hear a little bit of our
Copy that,
astronauts.
astronaut
I'm
Lee.
going to listen in for a second.
Status check, astronaut Lee.
So it's always great to see such an easy touchdown for our New Shepard crew. Now, our capsule recovery team, like we said, they're currently driving out
Astronaut
in a
will lobby
convoy to
status
meet
check.
the astronauts. They're going to safe the capsule and get ready to open that hatch, which essentially means making everything, like you said, Alice, is ready to go. Making sure
Astronaut
it's all
Cuba,
ready to go.
status check.
That is correct.
Doing a status check right now with our Astros, welcoming them back. Now, this is going to
Copy,
take
astronaut
just a
Keener.
moment, and while it does that, I want to take a moment to also talk about our nonprofit
Copy that,
Club
and
for the
astronaut
Future,
Hunter.
which
Status
is
check.
sending postcards so thrilled for being able to support Club for the Future and inspire as well as mobilize the next generation to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
And now, like we've done on all of our past missions, what a cool tradition it is, but our astronauts, created postcards, decorated them, wrote some messages, and flew them to space today on their mission. Every time we fly astronauts, we do this, and here they are. You can see all the astronauts making their postcards. I don't know if we can quite read that, but
yeah,
some
I
of them are
zoom in on that
quite
one.
the artists as well.
Yeah, we have artists, we have poetry, we have a little bit of everything, and I think it brings in the inner child in all of us when we all, I feel like so many of us had dreams of being an astronaut when we were younger and getting to live that out. But here's the coolest thing about the postcards. You can do this at home as well. Anyone can do this. We also have a digital option and a drawing tool that you can use. In order to make your own, you can go to draw.clubforfuture.org. Again, that's draw.clubforfuture.org, and you can be sending a postcard to space. So you notice we've also put in a small box in the right-hand corner of your screen our cameras, which are capturing the recovery efforts for our capsule, which has made a nice landing right back here in West Texas. But we also want to dive in on a little bit more of the mission of Club for the Future and how it inspires and mobilizes the next generation to pursue careers in STEAM.
When I was in high school, I was working to build a rocket for a target altitude competition.
My mom took me to a observatory opening, and I got to see the rings of Saturn through a telescope.
Growing up, I was just not very good at doing school. I wasn't really good at doing homework.
There was a teacher at my school, Mr. Cullen, and we spent hours together after school. I would be building a rocket in the back of his class, and that was incredible for me.
I had a chemistry teacher who also taught astronomy, sparked that interest in me. She went outside the lines of what I believed a science person should be.
It helped jumpstart a passion where I am now a propulsion engineer launching rockets.
If a teacher like that could help a student like me and pull me to this career, it just makes me think, what can I do to help inspire the next generation?
And that was life-changing for me.
And that's what Club for the Future is really all about.
At Club for the Future, our mission is clear: to inspire and mobilize future generations to pursue careers in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, and all for the benefit of Earth.
We're here to create meaningful experiences that spark curiosity and ignite passion.
We're teaming up with educators to make learning an adventure by creating space-based lessons for K-12 students.
If we want to see millions of people living and working in space, space should look like all the populations of Earth.
Our goal is to make learning about space more accessible for all. So we've joined with others to reach underrepresented students and underserved communities.
But it's not just about what happens in your classroom. As Blue Origin's Club ambassadors, we're here to share our expertise and inspire students through speaking opportunities, events, and mentorship.
Also, with our Postcards to Space program, kids can connect with the vastness of space and the future of our planet.
Draw your vision of the future or write any message you want on a postcard and we'll launch it to space and back on a new Shepard rocket.
Your postcard will be stamped, flown to space, and returned to you as a unique keepsake.
So let's go. Let's dream big, reach high, and build a future where the possibilities, they're as endless as the stars.
Again, we have welcomed back NS-33, the crew capsule there. A great shot as our recovery team is going out to safe the capsule and welcome Solstice 33 back to West Texas. And as we've talked about so much before, Alice, Club for the Future is such a great way to ensure that the great work that we do at Blue continues for future generations. It is so important that we inspire young people to get ready to join the workforce, not just here at Blue, but in all kinds of future STEM careers, so that can build on top of the work that we're doing here today, building the road to space.
Yeah, Jeff has always said this is, this generation's job to build the road to space so that future generations can unleash their creativity. And Tabitha, every Blue Origin employee is also an ambassador for Club for the Future. I know you're doing a Club for the Future event soon, and we all have been involved in some sort of outreach to the schools and communities where we came from, where we live today. So yeah, we are all actively invested invested in that idea of inspiring the next generation.
I was so excited when I got reached out to talk about Club for the Future and to help inspire, because when you look at the acronym for STEAM, I'm the A in STEAM. I'm the arts part of that, the communications part that works in the space field, which is so cool. And Alice, you're on the engineering side of that, which is really exciting.
We've got two of them covered.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a beautiful shot there. You can see the green, actually, from so much rain that happened out in West Texas. We've probably noticed how much we love hyping up our launch site 1 out near Van Horn, Texas.
Yeah, Tabitha, you've been there. I've been there a bunch. Van Horn is just one of those little great towns that you might not know about.
And I'm actually heading out there this afternoon. Yes, that's right, after launch, and I cannot wait to get there. Boots on the ground. It is just such a great place to go hiking, to maybe grab a drink down at the El Cap Hotel or a steak at Cattle Co. So many great parts.
Yes, it's a fantastic little town, and we love their support and how much Blue Origin is a part of that town. Now let's take a look out west to learn a little bit more about what Van Horn is
all about.
Two hours east of El Paso sits Van Horn, population 2,000. This small town lies on an isolated edge in the high desert of West Texas, with epic views in every direction. Breathtaking sunsets, a seemingly endless horizon, hiking trails, untouched lands, and natural beauty. It's our home away from home, and when we're here, we get to take part in the local culture. And on launch days, locals get a glimpse of New Shepard as it blasts towards the stars. This is the home of New Shepard. 20 miles north of Van Horn's main street, Blue Origin occupies a majestic valley as far as the eye can see. Texas has always been at the forefront of human space exploration. It was home to mission control for the Apollo moon landings, and it's where astronauts have trained for decades. Now, this rich history is being passed to a new generation of astronauts. West Texas has been the site of every New Shepard mission to date. And it's where the journey to space begins.
Yeah, and I just love, I love the community of Van Horn, and shout out to them who have supported so many of our New Shepard launches. Again, this is a live look at NS-33, the crew capsule. We are currently doing our crew recovery. We've got a great drone shot there. Our astronauts are having their final moments together as a team, and shortly they will be egressing.
Yeah, you can see our ground crew making their way around the capsule, getting confirmation from all the astronauts, and safing the vehicle. That includes things like electrically grounding it, checking on all the parachutes, making sure that those are safe, no one's going to trip over anything, making sure the way is clear for the astronauts to egress here shortly.
Yeah, I cannot imagine what is going through their minds, and I am so excited to eventually hear from our astronauts. They always, come out and they talk to their friends and their family and communities, later about everything that's happened, and they go out into the world and talk about how the overview effect has really had an impact on them, and they hope to impact other people as well. It's such a great mission with everything that we do here at Blue Origin and with our New Shepard launches. You can see the crew just really doing those final checks. Any moment now, we could be seeing those astronauts egress. And a great shot out in West Texas from our drones. It's cleared up quite a bit. The weather feels so different than it did just an hour ago.
It does, yeah. Those beautiful Guadalupe Mountains in the back there. Tabitha, I know you just went and hiked those last week, didn't you?
I did. In the pouring rain, I made it to the summit of Guadalupe Mountains National Park. That's up at El Cap, and that was 8,751 feet in the rain. And you didn't do it if you don't brag about it on air, right? I think that's the rule.
It's the highest point in Texas, is that right?
It is the highest point in Texas, and it's a great national park to visit. $10, you get 7 days. You can visit many parts of that national park, and that's just one small part of it. They also have sand dunes and salt flats that are great to see as well. Again, this is a drone shot taking a look at NS-33 crew capsule, made its way back to West Texas, and any moment we will see our happy astronauts egressing.
You know, we like to give our astronauts just a couple minutes to collect themselves, to chat amongst themselves. You know, they've become a crew over the last few days, especially with our weather delays. You know, you can be sure that they've been on their text thread together, just getting to know each other even more. And this is the last moment before we open the hatch and let them back out, and they get to, you know, savor that moment, savor those memories, really lock in what they just experienced, and hold that forever.
Yeah, and I'm really excited actually to hear from Allie and Carl. You know, they are a couple who went up together, and I just can't imagine what an experience would be like to go up with your partner and see the curvature of Earth from space from across the Kármán line and come back together. I think that's the ultimate vacation.
Couple goals.
Couple goals, yeah. Hashtag couple goals. Again, any moment we could be seeing our astronauts egress from the capsule here. We will be able to talk to some of those astronauts. You will be able to hear those interviews, watch those interviews on YouTube later today. That's always my favorite thing to do as soon as they're posted, is just be able to deep dive into their thoughts and to get a little insight into what this experience was like for them.
And I know I'm not alone in wanting to see the capsule footage from the inside. That is so exciting to see after a mission, to see what the crew got up to and what they had to say. They always are, have something profound to say during their experience. So we'll be releasing that as always shortly after the mission, and we can all get a glimpse of what it's like to go to space.
You know, I actually got to experience a virtual reality launch that happens over at the Kennedy Space Center with NASA. And I put on the virtual reality goggles and I got strapped in, and it was so cool. And it felt so profound being kind of like a New Shepard astronaut for a moment. It was really quite amazing. Something you guys at home should check out if you have the opportunity to. But while we're working on crew capsule recovery, I want to take a moment and revisit a previous New Shepard flight and the story of one of our very special New Shepard astronauts, Emily Calandrelli.
It was truly like the most miraculous experience. For me, the only feeling that felt similar to me in my life was when I had my children. When you have a child, it's not until you give birth and you have that child in your hands that you're like, oh my gosh, I know you, I love you. And then when I saw the planet from that perspective, it was like I was seeing it for the first time. Oh my God, I'm in space. We're in space right now. This experience has taught me that no dream is actually impossible. And Blue Origin is the reason I was able to achieve this dream that I've had for so long. My name is Emily Calandrelli. I'm an MIT engineer turned Emmy-nominated science TV show host, and most recently, the 100th woman to fly to space. I'm what's known as a science communicator. My North Star with everything that I do is to try to make science and space feel more welcoming to more people. This flight was something that I had dreamed about and worked toward for 2 decades. When you think of it, there have been over 100 billion humans alive on this planet, and only around 700 of them or so have seen the view that we saw. And that gives us a sense of responsibility to be able to share that in as many ways as we can with as many people as possible. And so now I feel like I can use my skills and my expertise to be able to bring that experience to as many people as possible. In many ways, I feel like my mission begins now.
And I'm such an Emily fan. I've been following her for a really long time. And when I went and watched her YouTube video about her New Shepard experience, I just remember crying from happiness. It was so exciting. Now we've got our drones. I've got eyes on the capsule right now. This is our NS-33 crew. They are currently egressing. You can see them. Oh, look at those hero shots. So excited, hands in the air. What a moment.
All the cheers and the claps from our ground crew. It's an incredible moment for these astronauts to come back, soak it all in, and really take their moment to egress the capsule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glued to the screen right now. I'm just like, gosh, what an exciting experience, especially like we said, you know, we did have to scrub the launch due to weather just over a week ago. So you can't imagine being so excited. Today's the day. Oh, it's not the day. Okay, now today is the day. And they're finally putting boots back on the ground after crossing the Kármán line, joining a very exclusive club. Today, 70 people that New Shepard has flown across the Kármán line. 4 have flown twice.
That's incredible. It really is incredible statistics. I mean, and this is just in a matter of a couple years we've done this.
Yeah.
Welcome home, Solstice 33. It's great to see you guys.
Woo.
Thrilled to have flown these 6 incredible people to space today.
Yeah, and learning so much about their story, knowing, you know, Carl and Allie and their work that they do as environmentalists and conservationists, and just so much more that they'll be able to share now that they've crossed the Kármán line. Yeah. Our drones really getting overtime today with these beautiful shots of the crew capsule. It has just been such a good day to fly for Solstice 33 for our 13th human flight, Alice. A great Sunday.
It has been. It's been a great launch day, and you can see all the crew back getting hugs and cheers and those beautiful blue parachutes ready to be packed up for the next New Shepard mission.
And I know you at home are excited to hear from the astronauts, as am I. So take a look at our social media. We'll be releasing on YouTube and maybe on our Instagram, a little teaser there for some of the interviews with our astronauts, and you'll be able to hear more about their experience as well as the video from inside the capsule. And Alice, I think this is our moment to tell our viewers goodbye.
I think so. What an incredible day for all of us here at Blue Origin, especially for those 6 astronauts on board. It was an absolute honor to fly you to space today. Now, if you at home would like to follow in the pioneering footsteps of these astronauts and purchase a seat to space, simply scan that QR code on the bottom left-hand side of your screen to visit blueorigin.com. Then go and click that Fly to Space button, and your journey beyond the Kármán line is closer than you think.
Yeah, and if you also want to purchase a mission patch made by our very own Zoe Brinkley, shout out to her incredible artistic skills. I love this patch. Go over to Blue Origin shop for not just patches, but we have so much more. Here's that patch once again from today's flight, which is also what the Astros wore on their flight suits. My name is Tabitha Lipkin for Alice Watts and the more than 10,000 employees here at Blue Origin. Thank you for joining us. Until our next launch, Gradatum Ferociter.
Have you ever dreamed of going to space? A once-in-a-lifetime journey is closer than you think. To book your flight, visit blueorigin.com and click Fly to Space. Tell us as much as you can about yourself. Once we receive your inquiry, our team will reach out to guide you through your journey. It's your time to join the new generation of astronauts.